Shalom, dear friend. In Israel, the most joyful feast that God commanded the Jewish people to celebrate for 7 days has begun. The Feast of Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles. It is a special time when Jews all across Israel build small huts, on their balconies, in their yards, and in public squares, remembering how the Jewish people lived in the wilderness after the Exodus from Egypt, and how God protected them and dwelled among them. For an entire week, families gathered together in their sukkah to eat, talk, read special prayers, and most importantly, to rejoice as God commanded. At this time, the people of Israel also gather the final harvest of the year, giving thanks to God for His blessings. Every feast of the Lord carries a prophetic message for His children today. We know that God dwelled among His people in the wilderness, a picture of how He will one day dwell among His people, believers in Him, at the end of times. This is a message about His kingdom here on earth. The final harvest represents the gathering of spiritual fruits, the time of joy and eternal fellowship with God. Look at the beautiful connection between the Jewish feasts and prophecy. First comes the Feast of Trumpets, Rosh Hashanah, the sound of the Shofar, the voice of God. It represents the moment when we will recognize the voice of our Savior at His second coming, when not everyone will recognize Him. Then comes Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, and after that, Sukkot, when God will dwell among His people in His eternal kingdom. By His grace and mercy, God reveals His plans to us through these feasts, and how important it is to listen and discern them. And there is another very important aspect of Sukkot: caring for those in need. Here we see the heart of God. He has never forgotten the orphans and widows, the poor and those who need help. He said, "Rejoice and celebrate, but also remember those who are in need today." And I want to encourage you to be generous in every good work, and not to pass by those who need you today. I bless you from Israel and remind you that today we can rejoice in God, rejoice in our salvation, and dwell in His glory. Hag Sukkot Sameach. Happy Sukkot and Shalom from Israel.